Hey, what's up, guys? We are broadcasting from James Short Tractors, somewhere in the backwoods of Georgia. Where are we at, Mr. Producer?
We are in beautiful Carnesville, Georgia. This is in my neck of the woods where I have that bunker that you've been up to before. It's a wonderful part of the country, beautiful northeast Georgia, foothills of the Appalachians, and what a thrill to be at my hometown dealer.
Yes, and today we got to tour Kubota's facility here in Gainesville, Georgia. So thanks to our friends at Kubota for letting Mr. Producer and I see how mowers are actually made literally in our backyard. It's super cool. And now we are actually at a dealership. So tell us who you are, and our friend Matt's joining us on this program as well.
My name's Russ Meadows. I'm the owner and manager here at James Short Tractors in Carnesville.
Matt Sabak. I'm Turf Product Specialist with Kubota.
We are here, Russ, and we want to hear about your dealership and what you guys are doing to help professionals make some money out there.
Right. So we've been a Kubota dealer since 2006. We carry the complete line of their zero turns and all their lawnmowers. And we're just here, to support, offer every aspect of support to keep those guys out running and making money.
We were having lunch today, and you said the last couple of years, business has been booming.
It has. It has. The COVID, I know, was a terrible thing for a lot of people, but as far as business, it really gave a bump in business. People wanted to get out and be outside more, and they came and bought lawnmowers.
So do you think it's the residential guy just wanting to mow his acreage, or is it guys who are doing this commercially, professionally, doing multiple yards a day? What are you seeing?
Right. So we have a mixture here. We have the guys, around here, we don't have a lot of small yards. We have a lot of acreage. We have a lot of farms. We have a lot of people that are chicken farmers. So we sell from anybody that's doing just a half-acre lot to the guys that are doing commercial to the guys that are taking care of their farms.
Yeah, it's a very big mix of customers that are walking through the doors of a Kubota dealership on a lot of cases. So like you said, the homeowner who just has a half acre or something like that, or all the way up to farmers who are buying M-Series tractors and ZD mowers, big diesel mowers. So
yeah, and you guys are a one-stop shop. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. So you come in, and of course, we're going to have salesmen here to help you and pick out what you need. I mean, that's one of the things with the support of a dealership. Some of the guys, I know some of your viewers and all, they're going to know exactly what they want. They've been doing this for years, and we have guys that are just starting out and don't really know. So that's why we have people that'll listen and figure out what you need and help you get into that right product that's going to last you and make you money, really and truly. But even from there, you're going to have support after that. Kubota makes a great product. They have a great warranty, but no matter what kind of product you have, something's going to break at some point in time. So we're going to offer parts to fix that. We're going to offer mechanics in the rear of the dealership back here to make sure that we keep you up and going, take care of all your warranty problems, insurance problems, anything like that.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the warranty features?
Yeah, so Kubota makes one of the best warranties, in my opinion, in the industry. It's going to cover all parts and labor of any kind of parts that break or anything like that. So, you bring it in here, we're going to handle all that in-house. It doesn't matter if it's the engine or a spindle or the seat or anything in between. We're going to bring that in. We're going to take care of that. It's not going to cost the customer anything.
What's the Orange Protection Program?
So the Orange Protection Program is you're going to get a great factory warranty. That's going to come standard free of charge from Kubota, but then you can also offer them an extended warranty to take care of that, up to 1 year or 2 years, even past when that factory warranty runs out. In a lot of cases, there's some variations, but in a lot of cases, it's at least, a 4-year warranty on some of this.
That's fantastic. Matt, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
No, yeah, it's a great option for the person purchasing a piece of equipment. If they just don't have it right now, they can't do it. We understand, but it's an option if they want to help protect them moving forward. So, and again, you can add the KTAC insurance onto that as well, too. So,
which, if you don't mind, I want to kind of talk about that just a little bit, because the KTAC is something that I don't think a lot of other manufacturers are going to offer something that's as good as what Kubota does as far as insurance. The insurance, we have weekly claims, really and truly, and it's going to cover a variety of things. If someone steals your zero turn, which happens if you turn it over into a lake, but simple things that people don't think about, the dog chewed up the seat. It happens. Squirrels get in and chew up a wiring harness. These guys, it covers these things, and a lot of other insurances don't. You're cutting people's yards that you've never been in before. You may hit something and tear the spindle out from up under it or something like that. It's a very, very simple process. You just make one phone call as a customer, tell them what happened. From there, we handle everything. You don't have to do anything after that. Nobody ever denies a claim. It gets fixed. It costs you $250 is what your deductible is. And if it's a total loss, they will give you what you paid for your mower to replace it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean, in those cases where, again, the guy slid down a hill, hit a curb and bent the deck, I mean, that's, those accidents are covered. And it's a big thing that a lot of people, I think we're really trying to get it out there, let people know about it. But that protection's it's huge, can save people a lot of money.
Yeah, we were talking at lunch that when COVID hit, a lot of people are coming home, working from home, looking out the window, being like, man, the yard's looking kind of raggedy around here. And it comes to y'all, and your sales are booming, last couple of years. Mr. Producer and I are hearing, guys are saying, Paul, I've made the most money I ever made in my career last year, and business is booming. So what's kind of your perspective as you're keeping people out there working and making money? What are you guys noticing about this industry and having a lawn care landscaping business right now?
No, I think it's just, it's going to change dramatically. I mean, it's everyone. They're kind of on the same route we are, or as Russ is at a dealership. People over the last 2 years have experienced crazy growth. Question is, moving forward, what do we do with it when things kind of calm down? Are we good where we're at? What are the decisions that need to be made right now to kind of make sure our business is successful moving forward?
The nice thing is the grass is going to grow every year unless there's, apocalyptic drought of biblical proportions or something like that.
Yes.
So the grass is still going to need to be cut. The opportunities are still tremendous for guys to get into this business. And as supply chain issues and all of that begin to get figured out, then it'll make the ease of operation much more easy. But it's going to be, I think, still good times for those that are out there cutting that grass week in and week out.
Yeah. Now, the pain point, I think that, I don't know from your perspective, but what I hear is the parts. Something goes down and I can't get it. So, what are your thoughts on that? And how can guys avoid missing out on downtime because they can't get a part?
Right. So one thing is, as far as the dealer goes, is we track everything that we sell parts wise. So we know what time of year, how many of those parts that we're selling. So we can kind of look ahead to the next year and know, hey, we need to stock up on this. We need to have this many in stock to support those guys. Because when they come in, they want to be able to just, get it right over the counter and go back and not have to wait on us to order it. So as the dealer, we got to look at those sort of things and take advantage of some, parts programs that Kubota offers us to order in stocks, quantities to get it in here. So on our standpoint, that's what we do. You can't always have every single part. So Kubota offers some emergency shipments and things like that we can take advantage of, and a lot of times get it here the next day to get you up and running. As far as the commercial guy out there running, I think one of the things with them is they also need to look at what is a wear item on their machine. What should they maybe keep a few of, not expensive parts, but a few of in that trailer that hauling around, so when something goes wrong, they can fix it and keep going to make money.
And then on this, go ahead, were you going to say something, Matt?
No, I was just echo. I mean, I think what Russ said is absolutely right. It starts with having a couple of the good parts, the cheap parts on hand that are going to keep you going, and then, those services to get parts here ASAP, next day a lot of times are really necessary in the shop more than anything. We know those aren't going to be ones you can keep on the store on the shelves all the time. So then the EverGo program, keeping the guys running. If we can't get it here or the shop's backed up, making sure they're not losing any time when they're out in the field.
Right. So, we'll keep some demo units on hand if that guy breaks down, and we can let him borrow that for a few days to keep going and making money.
What's usually the turnaround time when somebody drops off a mower for the repair until they'll get it back?
Yeah, so that's a hard one to answer, to be totally honest. It depends on a lot of variables there. One is the season. If it's right in the middle of grass cutting season, we get behind too. We get busy. And then also, what part do you need? Is it something that we just have on the shelf? If it's something that we can get you in a day or so and get you back out pretty quick. The other thing that, we look at is, as our customers buy from us, we build relationships with those customers. And we know the guys that are cutting professional, and they're doing this for a living, and they have to make that money to support their family. And we also know the guys that are doing this just cutting their own yard and that sort of thing. So we can step in, and we know this guy's kind of a priority. So if we need to pull him ahead of a few lawnmowers to get him up and going and get him back out, we try to do that.
What's the main repairs you're seeing that maybe could take a little more intentionality or prevention? Guys are just waiting until it's too late. What have you noticed through the years?
I think a lot of it will be just inspecting your lawnmower a lot of times, checking your belts, checking things like that to make sure they're in good shape before they just break on you out there in the yard. And maintenance. Some guys do very, very good with their preventative maintenance and keeping their machines going, and some people just don't. And that's what's going to keep your machine running, is making sure those oils are changed and those filters are changed and your air filters are clean and those type of things. And even, keeping around your deck clean and not letting debris build up and things like that will really help.
That's really good.
Level decks, good belts, and then oil in the engine. Yep. Clean oil in the engine. I think those are the kind of the three main ones you really want to keep an eye on. So,
you got anything, Mr. Producer? I see that finger on the.
Yeah, Paul probably knows where I'm going here, because I'm always telling him I love good stories. And I'm just curious if you guys have any great stories, whether it's related to what we're talking about here today or not. What's the story that you're telling around the campfire with your buddies? Now, remember, it's a family-friendly program. Keep that in mind. But whether it's a story about Kubota, a story about lawnmower changing somebody's life, or just something crazy that has happened, people love good stories, and I'm just curious, does anything come to mind?
Kind of put me on the spot there.
Well, the good thing is, Paul has a really good producer who will edit this to make it sound flawless. So, underpaid producer, but a really good one.
I'm going to tell you a story. So it's not really involving customers, but it's really Kubota. That's something I was really impressed with. How about that? So I live in Jackson County, which is not far from here, and the Kubota plants are kind of all around me, because we have plants in Gainesville and Jefferson and that sort of thing. And, several years ago, when Kubota really started developing these zero turns and that sort of thing to go out, I would be going down the road and I would look out into these pastures, not yards, but these rough pastures, and there would be 7 or 8 Kubota zero turns out there just cutting these pastures. And then, a few days later, I'd be going down a different road, and I would see another pasture with these guys in there, and it was rain or shine. They were just cutting. So I finally had to find out, what is that about? Why are y'all out here cutting these pastures? But what Kubota was doing was testing, and I was very, very impressed with that they would go out in those type of conditions to test their product to make sure, that they were going to last when they got put in a yard, which was nowhere near the severity of what that machine was going to go through.
Very cool.
I can't say mine is really a Kubota-related one. It was kind of from my days working at a dealership, and I can't say it's a positive one either.
These are the best stories, so please
tell us
more.
Story. No, there was a gentleman. He just came in, one of our good customers at the time when I was working with him, and he had bought 2 backpack blowers, and he actually bought like a entry-level commercial mower, and he just got a new enclosed trailer as well. He didn't get that from us, but he had gotten that too, and he'd left the dealership, I think it was Thursday or Friday or something like that. And Monday he came in, and he's like, "You won't believe what happened. You were talking about it. A buddy of yours or somebody listening to you, somebody just hooked up to the back of his trailer and just drove away with everything in it. And he had everything on video camera, with the exception of the guy's license plate. They kind of covered it up. But I just could not believe that people were that brazen to do that. And I felt horrible for the guy, and it was crazy. I just couldn't wrap my head around something like that happening or doing that to somebody.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, Kubota's been around for 50-year history here in the USA. What's it like working with such an established, respected company?
I think it's great. I mean, they give us the support that we need, be it from helping us get our orders and get our inventory in, to sending our technicians to have factory training so they know what they do. And they've really stood behind their products. There's times that things have went wrong that maybe they shouldn't, and Kubota's always stepped up and really helped out in those situations.
I would say the biggest thing that's fun and exciting, and it's every day for us. I think everyone can agree here that works for Kubota. It's every day is something different. We're growing really well. Our dealerships are growing really well, and we're experiencing new challenges on a daily basis, and just trying to figure those out is sometimes frustrating, but a lot more times fun and rewarding at the end when you're done and you actually have something that works for the dealership or works for the end user. So
great. Well, Russ, I had one more question for you about just a piece of practical advice. You see a different side of this industry with keeping us out there having working equipment. What's a piece of practical advice you'd give to somebody who owns a lawn care business who's doing this to make money?
I think one of the biggest things is you need to find a dealer and build that relationship with the dealer, really and truly. The dealer's who is going to offer you support to keep you going. And if you can build that relationship, they'll go above and beyond to help you out. They know what you need and are willing to help. And sometimes, maybe that machine's, I probably shouldn't say this, but maybe that machine's just a little bit out of warranty. but we feel that, hey, that shouldn't have happened. We will fight for you. You know, if we know you and have that relationship, we will go to Kubota and we will fight and say, hey, look, you know, this really, we feel like this should be covered. And the majority of the time, Kubota will stand behind us.
Yeah, so it's beyond just the mower. It's the relationship is what you're saying.
It's the relationship. It is. The piece of equipment's what you're going to run, and I'm not saying that there's not other piece of equipment that won't do the same thing. They'll all cut grass, you know, but it's going to be the support behind that equipment. And I think with the Kubota dealers and Kubota as a corporation, as a company, you will get that support behind you.
That's fantastic.
I literally couldn't have said it any better myself.
But you don't have the accent.
I don't have the accent.
I have a friend named Jason Creole, and y'all sound like you're brothers. So. Were you gonna say something, Mr.
Yeah, there was the only downside that I've seen to anything is, why did you go with Clemson orange instead of Bulldog colors? Those orange machines just remind me of Clemson. All right, Paul's giving me the look, saying, "All right, that's not on the topic." But
no, we have a couple flights to catch in downtown Atlanta, so we have to get our friends to go ahead.
Well, I just had one more thing before cutting up, and this is for Mr. Producer. I've watched a couple of these last shows that y'all had, and several times you've mentioned that you just needed to know where to get that mower, that new mower. You're in the right spot. Yes. Right here today before you leave would be.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we can handle that.
James Short's Tractors, guys.
Carnesville, Georgia.
Now, what you don't realize is you're alienating one of my listeners, because there's a listener of our show who cuts Mr. Producer's grass. So that would mean he's getting canned.
He's finding out on the show today.
So it was funny, real quick story. Because he listens to my podcast and my friend Brian Fullerton's podcast. We both use Mr. Producer. And so you want to tell the story about, this is pretty good.
The way I actually found my lawn care professional was I went to his Instagram feed, and when I saw that he was actually attending one of the live seminars that was put on by Brian Fullerton, who was mentioned, and he was there getting his picture taken with Paul Jamison at this event, I knew that he was a serious professional. So when he came out to my house and then we just started talking, he just sort of stopped and said, "I know your voice from somewhere." And he was a listener of the podcast. And so we signed him up on the spot. And
he heard your voice and he's like, "I know you from somewhere. Oh my gosh, you're Mr. Producer."
My guy Dan's done a great job. And even if I get the new Kubota, you can use it when you come over to the house, Dan, to cut my yard.
There you go. Well, I really appreciate your time. And again, I want to say thank you to Tom and Beth for letting us tour the Kubota facility. That was super impressive. And I just appreciate you guys coming all the way to our community here in Georgia and you know, the 3,000 people you employ here in our backyard. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul.